Hey, my friend, I don't know about you, but I love true stories of real people. And I'm just a real person like you. And I have a true story I want to tell you. I was 46 years old. I was teaching at a school. I was at a time in life when I was frustrated inside of my own skin. I felt like I was just existing, not really living. I felt like inside of me there was something that wanted to live much more than how I was living my life. Outwardly, it would look like I was doing fine as a person. I was way overweight. That was a problem, but everything else was fine. And I was fine, but I was also very frustrated. One night I was at the gym and I was on the treadmill walking at about 2.5 speed, probably. I was reading a book, and the first line of the book said, "Stop living as if the goal of life is to arrive at death safely." And I read that first line again. Stop living as if the goal of life is to arrive at death safely. And I handed it to my wife, who was on the treadmill next to me. And I said, I'm leaving the school. I was at that school for 14 years teaching. And the next day I contacted the administrator and I said, this is my last year. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a retirement stored up. I didn't have a big savings account stored up. But there was something locked up inside of me that mattered the most. Something in me wanted to really live, and I felt like I wasn't as a man. I recall about 2 years prior, maybe a year prior to that, I was on a school field trip. It was at a zoo. I was helping to chaperone. I recall coming to this enclosure at the zoo. It was about the size of a large living room with a tall ceiling. In the middle was a tree that spread out and it filled most of this enclosure. It was a fenced in dome shape. I looked around, I didn't see anything, so I did what I hate to do at the zoo, which is read. And I looked at the placard and it said there was some kind of eagle inside of that enclosure. And my first thought was like an eagle inside of this? Like there's no room to fly. And I look around and there up on the branch is this eagle. And I thought about that eagle, and in my mind I had a conversation with that eagle. That eagle was cool. That eagle was comfortable. That eagle, its needs were provided for it. They would come and feed it. Nobody was allowed to harm this eagle. It was safe. And looking at that eagle, I was like, I think that's my life. I'm living the life that eagle is living. It's comfortable, it's secure. And every now and then someone walks by and some little boy, little girl says, look, mommy, it's an eagle. Isn't that awesome? People say, yeah, that's awesome. Eagles are awesome. And I was living like that man that was just looking for comfort and security. And hopefully every now and then someone will stop by and say, oh, it's Mr. Delaney. He's a good teacher. Don't get me wrong. I believed in what I was doing. I loved to teach students. I loved kids and helping them. But inside, I was descending as a man. I had stopped living for something. I wrestled just like that eagle in the cage, I imagine. I thought about that eagle and I wondered, what's it like to be an eagle and to be in a place where you can never spread your wings and fly? What would that be like? I felt like that was me. My life required no wings. I can just sit on a branch. I left my job. The next day, I told the administrator, this is my last year. And like I said, I didn't have a retirement set up. I didn't have a big bank account. I just wanted to live a life that counted. I wanted to live in pursuit of something. I didn't want to just be comfortable. And I spent a couple of years just like doing anything to get by. I picked up odd jobs, weird jobs, whatever jobs, just anything to pay the bills. while I was searching inside of me for who I really was and what I really wanted to give to the world. I don't think that everyone needs to leave their job. I don't think everyone needs to take that kind of step. I don't think that was the magical answer. But for me, I had stayed in that state of just existing in comfort and security. I had been in that state long enough that the band-aid needed to be ripped off. I needed kind of a wake-up call. Otherwise, comfort will just, it'll keep on coming to us. I needed a wake-up call, or I was just going to stay in the comfort of my existence that I wasn't happy in. So everyone doesn't need to leave their job. I think I could probably go back to that job today or something just like it and be joyfully content and even passionate about it. Because now I look differently at life. I look differently at myself. I feel like I have left that cage and I've gone into the wild and I have found my wings. And now I feel like every day I'm living. I'm living my best life. I'm living my full life. I'm living out of the cage in freedom and on purpose. And now that's the message of my heart, just that I keep pursuing and that I keep proclaiming to people, is I think we can all live with freedom on purpose. And it's a way of being. You don't necessarily need a different job, but you might need to think differently about your current job. Some people think that to live differently, you have to leave your spouse. That's the big move. If I leave my spouse, I'll be free. For most people, that's not what needs to happen. For most of it's a change in perspective of how we see our life. With just a change in thinking and how we look at our life, it removes that boundary or that fence that seems to be engulfing our life. All of us can live a life with a sense of freedom and on purpose. I believe it with all my heart. I hope this story has helped you. I've started this YouTube channel, and my real mission is just to help people, just like you, because I feel like you are a lot like me, and I'm a lot like you. And if there's anything about my real story that can help your real story, I want to talk about it, and I want to help people. So if this is helpful, let me know and I'll produce more content. I have a goal that I want to get 1,000 subscribers. And when I do, I want to take some of those subscribers on a journey to knowing your purpose. Because purpose is kind of a thing. We all need to know it so that we can all live it. So when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to take some of those subscribers on a journey at no cost. And it's going to be a purpose challenge where I'm going to help people know their purpose. So if that sounds exciting to you, share this, help me get some more subscribers, because ultimately I want people to find the same sense of freedom and the same sense of purpose that I live with every day, because I think I'm a lot like you and you're a lot like me. And the world is better when you and I live with freedom and on purpose.